It's early morning yet a very hot day. Frankly, the only solace I have with me today is this motorcycle right here. Now, for a country that is used to seeing Royal Enfields ply its roads most of the times, I won't blame you if for a tiny fraction of a second you thought that this was one of them. However, you hear it and you know that this is an entirely different game field. And it's not just the noise, it's got pure British elegance. You see on it down to the last millimeter. Now this is the smallest from amongst all the Bonnies. The name Bonneville comes from Bonneville salt flats, where Triumph has set and broken many speed records. Welcome to the Triumph Bonneville T100. It's a modern classic. It gets classic looking clothes, but underneath it's a modern heart. For example, this carburetor cover right here. Triumph have spent time in designing this cover so as to give it that classic appeal. It's fuel injected. These fins on the engine make it look like it's air cooled. It's not, it's liquid cooled engine, but Triumph have very well hidden the radiator and the tubing. Now what powers this exquisite looking machine is a 900cc parallel twin with 4 volts per cylinder. It sits in the middle of its big brother, the T120, and the street twin. The frame comes from the T120 and it shares the engine with the street twin. Now at 213 kilograms, it's still a lot for someone with a build like mine. But factually speaking, it is lighter than the T120, something that you will notice helps with the maneuvering quite a lot since it gets a single disc at the front, which has helped with the weight reduction, and hence handling it has become quite easy. Now, how the engine feels like, very, very refined. Now sometimes I feel that it is so smooth. From a motorcycle this big and this heavy, a 900cc engine, I'd expected a bit more feedback, but it is just so smooth. If I talk about the throttle response, it gets a ride-by-wire throttle and very, very smooth. The word smooth I know I will be using a lot for this motorcycle because it just is. It gets a torque assist clutch. The clutch lever is very soft. I mean, it's never a problem for your left arm. And talking about gear shifts, it's never a problem finding neutral. Although when I was on the highway, the Yamuna Expressway, in fact today, right now, a few minutes ago, I felt I would probably have liked a 6th gear, but that is really not a bother. Coming to the exhaust, it gets twin pea-shooter exhausts on either sides. The noise is quite subdued. I mean, you would expect something more grunty from a bike like this, but goes with its personality. It's a fun motorcycle. It's got the best of both, or rather we can say many worlds. City riding, good. Highways, good. A bit of touring, good. Twisty bits, still good. However, about the ground clearance on it, you don't have to try very hard to scrape the foot pegs, so I would suggest don't go very lean happy on it. If you live in Delhi, you could very well take it riding to Kufri. If you are based in Mumbai, take it to Goa, and what a fantastic view will it make parked next to a beach. Point is, it is very well capable of touring to the extent of, well, short weekend trips which will leave you with a smile on your face. It's got single discs, front and back. It's got ABS. The instrument cluster on it, very informative. The speedo and the tacho are analog, which I really like because, you know, the climbing needle really looks good. Other than that, it gets 2 screens which has your fuel consumption, your average fuel consumption, how much you have before you end up pushing your bike, then your traction control status. If you choose to put a cruise control on it, which is a optional extra, then that has an indicator on the instrument console as well. Now, what does it feel riding the T100? Now, you've got 54 brake horsepower and 80 Newton meters of torque. The throttle is linear, but not the kind where you can not be paying attention on it. It's got travel suspension and a very comfortable seat. The suspension felt so soft that on bumpy roads, which we have many in India, you will be bouncing off the seat a lot if you are speeding on those bumps. Otherwise, on low speeds, you will be gliding over them. It feels quite light on the handlebar to maneuver. I mean, the first day I got this bike, I thought it was heavy, but once you start riding it, you know that it's very, very light to maneuver. The noise is very subdued, more subdued than I'd expected, but once this motorcycle grows on you, you will end up liking it. It's a treat to behold, really. The times you are not riding it, you will mostly be admiring it. You don't buy this motorcycle for what the performance is like. It's not 0 to hundreds and power figures and performance braking and suspension. It's what it looks like. It's what it sounds like. It's what the character of it means to you. If I had to compare this, I would probably compare it to the Ducati Scrambler Cafe Racer, but it's not in our market yet. And when I say you don't buy it for the performance figures, in no way do I mean that it felt underpowered at all, at any point of time. You've got 54 horses under your right hand and it feels quite powerful at every gear. Now, if I'm thinking about its elder brother, the T120, well, I would personally go buy this and I would save money not buying the T120 and use that money to kit it with the accessories, the 150 accessories that Triumph offers on it, from your cruise control to a better leather seat and maybe a center stand and loads of other things. At no point did I feel, I wish I had the T120, except for when I had a pillion at the back. Then the charisma of it was slightly lower. However, if you're buying a motorcycle like this, it's, well, likely you are not going to be using it for a commute for 2 people. So it's on rare occasions, that you will have someone sitting at the back. When you have the motorcycle all to yourself, it's never underpowered. It's never under what you expect. If you're not used to big engines, heavy motorcycles, this could very well be your ticket to moving on to something bigger. I mean, this was not scary, but never underpowered, for one thing that I have to say. Should you buy it? Well, you got a powerful engine, 54 brake horsepower, 80 Newton meters of torque, and travel suspension, very comfortable seat. Value for money, if we talk about that, well, it's a pricey bike. It's on the expensive side, but when I look at it, I feel, yes, I want it. I mean, even if I have to, work up to get one of these for myself, I would do that. You've got modern day technology going on in here. It's a classic looking motorcycle, but you've got traction controller, you've got ABS, and you've got heated grips. That's optional extras, 150 optional extras right there, but that would add on to your cost. Should you bring one of these home, I assure you the decision will not make you regret. For more news on cars and bikes and, well, anything that has wheels and an engine, log on to www.financialexpress.com/auto. That's us, Express Drives. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Thank you ever so much for watching.